Smart Home Arena.
Ooh.
Yeah, a chance to go see the Cougs. It's a day game, 1 o'clock tip-off. BYU UNLV from the Vivint Smart Home Arena. Give me a call. I'll give those to you. 673-5890. 673-5890. Jeremy Larkin standing by. We've got the Thursday St. morning drive coming up after this timeout.
I'm actually standing by.
This is a miracle.
Yeah. So we got a project. We're live, by the way.
We got a project.
Right when we leave here, I need you to come by my house so we can move the washing machine out. I moved the dryer out. I got a brand new washer dryer coming between 9:30 and 10:30.
I brought my guns.
Dude, well, I heard the gun show was down. I thought it was a convention center.
That's right.
But anyways,
Except the
I'm
Larkin group.
psyched. They just called me from Lowe's.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this.
You know, I was thinking this morning, you ever notice I'm pretty quiet on the air until we start talking about the market?
Yeah.
You'd think I was a numbers guy.
Expect homes and hearts.
Well, you are in your own twisted
Expect
story.
My own weird way,
stomachs and
but-
hungry souls to be fed.
Okay,
Expect need
so
and despair to be transformed by hope and joy. Whether you give it
I'm gonna
on
throw in
campus
here,
or at
'cause people-
salvationarmyusa.org.
I'm gonna throw in the
Expect your
link to the live stream.
contributions to change
There's one
I wish I was going.
the
I
salvation
can't. I can't.
UNLV's Saturday afternoon.
Well, that's BYU UNLV in Vegas?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
sorry.
in Salt Lake. Man, I would love to go to that show.
Nope, Salt Lake.
It's so freaking
At the
awesome.
Viv, Vivint Smart Home Arena.
Yeah, that'd be a good,
Really? Is that
that'd
where
be a good one.
BYU plays now?
No, just they do an occasional game there. I saw them play Utah State there a couple of years ago. I saw them play San Diego State there. It's kind of cool because, you know, the NBA arena and everything.
UNLV, that's where I graduated.
I saw him play San Diego State, and Jimmer was there. He had 48 points, and they beat the Aztecs at the Vivint Smart Home Arena. That was a lot of fun a few years back.
Put in the link.
That's what we, listen, that's what we call the good old days.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Here, I'll put a link to this report there too.
yeah, dude, I wish you would.
You should do
I
something.
wish that you would, man. All right, it's gonna be a lovely day. How about BYU last night? Whoops.
Did you watch it?
No, well, I didn't watch it, but I had heard. My dad was telling me.
They were killing him, and
Because
then
he's the-
Yoli got cramps and had to come out.
Not my dad, my
As soon as he left the game, it's like, okay, Utah's better than BYU when he's not playing. When he is playing, BYU's better.
How are they up 17 points and you lose?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess there's a lot of reasons. Woo! All right, I think we're on. Almost. What do we got, Andy? 2 minutes?
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Oh, we're done. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we got a couple of watchers. If you're watching, guys, say hey. Say hi. Give us a thumb. Or a heart.
Morning, everybody. It's time for the St. George Real Estate Morning Drive with Jeremy Larkin, and we can't forget about Jesse Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, man. This guy is the Ed McMahon of the modern real estate radio program.
Oh, wow.
Ha! That's what Ed used to do all the time.
Ah!
Yeah.
Ah! Yeah, you know, the guy never showed up at my doorstep with a big check, but whatever.
No.
Eh.
That was a scam.
Hey, for all of our Facebook Live viewers, you'll see me just like hanging out in my hoodie this morning like it's vacation, like it's Thanksgiving again. I've said
Casual
Halloween.
Thursday.
See, the beauty is I was getting ready to come over here, and then Lowe's called, and they're bringing the new washer dryer. So I ended up, anyway, it's a mess. You know, you haven't moved your washer and dryer in a while?
6 months ago.
You ought to, okay, there you go. You ought to look underneath it. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, here's a $100,000 check. I wondered where that went.
Ed McMahon.
Yeah, there's that big giant check.
When it gets really interesting is when you have pets.
Oh, well,
Because everything collects under the washer and dryer.
oh man, for sure.
When I used to have Jack, because he had so much hair.
Oh,
When I moved the washer and dryer, it's like, wow.
that
Got
guy.
a fur fest going on.
Yeah, that guy was a big guy.
He's
How big was that dog?
About 80, 90 pounds. He's
Yeah,
big.
he was a big dog.
He was a big boy.
He was a big boy. He's a loving dog and very hairy.
A lot like me. Just
Yeah,
loving.
big and loving and hairy,
Goofy.
like you and Goofy. Andy, I think, is the same way. That's what his wife says.
Yep.
Just a big hairball.
I don't have any dogs.
Oh my gosh. Well, man, it really is nice having a dog.
My problem is my wife has asthma and it's pet induced, so we just can't.
This doesn't work. All right.
Unless I get a hairless one like you.
I respect it. That's right, man. That's right.
Did you ever get your car fixed, by the way?
It's gonna be fixed this week. They just approved the repair, but now I have to wait for the door because it's a whole new door.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
Is
everywhere
that
I
all,
go,
just the door?
just the door. And everywhere I go, people look at it like, "What's wrong with you, dude?"
That is kind of funny.
It's embarrassing.
It's as funny as hitting one of those poles that you always at the convenience store.
Yeah,
You
I
know they're there
I know.
in every stall,
Yeah.
and then you back right into
I
it.
know.
So when my son first got his driver's license, this was like 10 years ago. Okay, so he pulls into a bank. You don't have the yellow concrete pole, so you don't run into their thing. So he pulls in there and he hits the pole with the side of his truck.
Yep.
And
Classic.
most humans would go, "Oh, I hit something. I should stop." Not my son. My son says, something's holding me up. I think I'll push the gas.
Then what happened?
So the pole, we had a giant yellow scrape and dent all the way from about midway to the back of the truck.
I hope he left it.
They don't move.
It stayed for a while.
Shoot.
Yeah, they don't move. Those poles are.
No, I found it. It was interesting because when we hit that pole, then I felt, the car. I stopped, but the car kept moving in a way because it just inertia, and I could just feel it like a can crushing. It felt like when you step on a can.
Yeah.
But I've shared this with a few people. If I could feel it in the steering wheel. Isn't that weird? Like I literally could feel the door kind of collapse.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the great part. That car has been to Bryan Head now twice with that door that way. Sealed up perfectly. The guy over at, where did I go? Holy crap. Clay. I'm forgetting who his company is. So I went to get the estimate, Automatrix. He just took the door and bent it back because the door didn't seal up. You can remember I was saying you could see daylight.
Yeah.
So he just bent the whole door to where it would seal up. So it's been to Bryan Head twice and to a concert in Vegas 2 nights ago with my kids, which subsequently we got home at like 3 o'clock in the morning from. Holy Vegas traffic. We saw a show, by the way, any of our Facebook Live listeners. I doubt a lot of our radio listeners, this is our group. We went and saw a band called the 1975.
That's
Which was the year I was born, which is great. I'm still bebopping from it, man. Like I can't let it go. Usually I'm about 72 hours after the show. I'm still thinking about it. But we got out of there, pull onto the freeway, and it was bumper to bumper at midnight. It was midnight Vegas time. I'm like, this is not good. This is not good. So I called my buddy, and somehow he'd gotten on a side road, and I couldn't get off of the freeway. Mm-hmm. So eventually, I got off at Sahara. And then went and took the frontage road on the west side of the freeway at like 55 miles an hour up, and then I was out at Craig Road, and boy, I mean, I was staring down the barrel of, I don't know how long it was going to be. It was bad. I was stuck for 20 minutes at 4 miles per hour on the freeway at midnight.
Was it because of a wreck or just the events?
I didn't see, there's not enough events to matter, man. I don't know what it was. I don't know what was going on.
Those freeways out of Vegas when they have events are
Uncool. Totally uncool. If you got some 1975 fans and you're watching on Facebook Live, you got to tell me about it. But it was a great time. It was wild. And it was like, you kind of wanted to just move, it was a lot of fun. So, hey.
Can you tell us about the band a little bit? Or like what kind of music are we talking?
I honestly, it's funny. Almost kind of like 80s pop. Like it has that feel. Yeah.
Richard Marx?
Well, not that. More of your electronic, like, so all of their scenes and their display, lots of neon, pinks, and what they're doing at these shows now, visually, because of all the digital displays, they turn anything into a display. What looked like banks of speakers or banks of equipment were all digital screens, right? Wow. Just incredible. So man, you couldn't get enough of it, and boy, they played for a long time, and I was happy about it. So there you go. That was a good time, and we're back, and the car survived, man. It was just like flying colors. Isn't that weird with that big old hole inside? Anyway. Yeah. All right. I got Jesse Paul in the studio, Jeremy Larkin here, host of the St. George Real Estate Morning Drive. I'm ready for my Lowe's washer and dryer. They had some killer deals Black Friday.
Did they?
And I did go to Consumer Reports, did my homework. My father advised me, he's like, you gotta go to Consumer Reports, man.
Yeah.
Like, my mother.
You should get lost in Consumer Reports.
Yeah, I just go straight to the report though, and I'm just like, show me the top 5.
Man.
Show me the top 5. If I'm top 5, I'm solid.
Yeah, oh yeah.
When we had our house fire back in 2009, we were basically replacing everything. Mm-hmm. And our neighbor turned us on to Consumer Reports. We literally got lost in that.
I love it.
Because when you're replacing your whole house, everything, it's time consuming.
Did you find out what the best $4 doorstop was? Honey, we've got to get it right. We got to nail this thing.
Man.
I loved it. I'm going LG. in case you wanted to know. There you go. All right. I thought it was going to go something else, but I read the reports, and I'm going top load in.
Really?
I'm not.
Really? Everybody's
not
front
going-
load nowadays.
I'm so sick of the mold that comes on in those front load mold. I've had 2 sets in a row that have got mold in the door from the front load. Yeah, they're
Maybe it's
notorious.
the user.
No, they're notorious, dude. You look it up. Did you not know that?
I've never saw mold in my washer. But
Yeah.
let's get this straight. And even Leia said last night, she's like, look how magic this is. You leave your clothes on the floor or in the basket, and whew,
Yep.
here they are folded. So that's how much I know about washers.
Well,
and
wait a
dryers.
minute. Mind that. Okay, I read Consumer Reports. It did not say this folds the laundry. All you have to do is
That's
Google
Magic Elf.
Google front load mold. That's all you need to know. Preventing. Here's the front load mold problem. Guess how many results?
How many?
20,700,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all I need to say.
How many of those were you?
A lot of them were blogs that I wrote.
I wonder how many
so
of them are
sick of it.
because we leave our laundry in overnight.
Well, and I
If
don't.
we would actually change it immediately, I wonder if that would be a
Well,
problem.
you're,
I have
not
to leave
allowed,
the door
you're not
open.
allowed to say we because you just told us you don't do any
Well,
laundry.
but I have in the past, and I can't tell you how many times I've forgot that it was.
No,
there.
I've left stuff in overnight for sure,
So-
but really I have to prop the door open all the time and leave it open. I'm just done. I'm done with it. All right, let's move on. Let's do some real estate.
Now we got that.
The show is presented by some of our great sponsors, our friends at Sunwood Homes. Just reserved 3 more lots at Brookwood.
Wow,
What does that leave us with? I don't know what it leaves us with. Maybe 20? Probably 20.
20?
Yeah, it's not 10. That'd
15?
be great. If it was 10, that'd be great. Probably 20. So 19 or 20 lots, but if you haven't
We
seen
still have
Brookwood,
some view lots though.
couple incredible view lots. I think we have the best view in St. George over there. I don't know why it's not sold. Visit mysunwoodhomes.com. These guys are fantastic. And as well as our friends at Guild Mortgage, so grateful for Chantry Abbott. He'll be on with us, Abbott. He just had a baby. Well, actually, his wife did. But they had a baby. Just life looks great for them. Hopefully he'll be recovered. He's great. He'll be back on with us next week. Guild Mortgage. If you're thinking
Not
about
gonna miss that. He's always good.
purchasing a home or even doing a refinance, man, the perspective they can provide is so great. Chantry Abbott over at Guild Mortgage. All right. I shared Jesse. I said the invisible title of today's show, the invisible reality, and I did the emoji Andy with the sunglasses on. That's the best I could do for a blind guy. The invisible reality of the St. George real estate market, what we see that you cannot, that you need to know. All right.
So this is actually going to seem like what is that old verbiage, oxymoron? Because the data doesn't prove it. I'm looking here going, what the heck?
You calling me a moron?
Me.
Okay. As long as you're calling you a moron.
Because
Or an oxymoron.
An oxymoron, because we're about to talk about a market shift that you can't prove or you can't see, but you can feel. And you have to be doing business to be able to feel it out in the market.
Yeah. Well, I love that you said that. You have to be doing business. There are 2 businesses that the public has decided that they can play in and they think they have knowledge in, and they are real estate and the stock market. Okay. And kind of car sales, but that's a little different. Real estate and the stock market, the consumer has so much information, and they've decided that they don't. The pros, right? And everybody's uncle and dad and late grandmother has an opinion for them.
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell you how many times, Andy, we've been down the road with a buyer or a seller, and then they come back negotiating something, a contract. They come back a couple hours later. Yeah, well, I talked to my dad, and he said that I should. I'm like, is your dad a real estate professional? I didn't know. Tell me which brokerage is he with?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's not. He works for Dat's Trucking. I'm like, well, Dat's is a good company. I really like the Ipsons. They're great people. But you get my point.
Yeah.
So the public. So here's what you cannot see what we see when you do this all day long. When you get up in the morning and you go in and you're engaged in real estate conversations all day long. Okay, so what does let's keep this big view, because I'm trying to warn him to not go into a whole bunch of
I get
data.
weird. I get
He
really
goes into
weird.
this data and he just, I love this guy. I love
Eyes
you.
roll back. And
But people don't, the
start
public
talking
doesn't care
Chinese.
about all the stuff. Here's what they want to know. What does the information that the public has if you look at the numbers, what does it tell us about the market? What would you think about the market?
That it's really good. In fact, it says,
Well, it is good, isn't it?
actually it is.
Okay.
Even though we're
Okay.
feeling a shift,
But
it's
in
really
a
good.
one sentence, we're going to test Jesse. In one sentence, what would the data tell you about the market?
It's great.
That was kind of vague.
Well, then it's great. That we're still in a really strong seller's market.
Mm-hmm.
Sellers are getting 98% of their asking prices on normal.
Yeah. I would even say that we're in a booming market.
Yeah.
Andy, that's what the information on paper would tell us.
Boom, yes.
Okay. I get it. And you said a couple of factors because we see,
One other thing, average sales price continues to go up.
yeah, so the average sales price is going up. The time the home's on the market seems to be low.
Yeah, 6-month average is 49 days.
It seems to be low.
Yeah.
The total amount of inventory appears to be low.
Yeah, it's low.
Okay, right?
Sure.
And then when you, Jesse, when you run into friends who know you're in real estate, don't they always ask the same thing? Hey man, you guys must be busy.
Yep.
You must be getting rich. Okay, that's what we get. It's just a standard.
Mhm.
Everybody thinks we're getting so rich. They've done the math. They think we're all getting 6% commissions and putting it all in our pocket.
Right.
They have no idea
no
that
expenses.
first of all, you don't ever get 6, you get 3 because it's split with another brokerage, and then you have taxes. There's a third, and then you have expenses. There's a third. So remember that 6%. Try 1%, right? So
It's still a
maybe,
business,
maybe
there's
right? Yeah, oh
expenses.
yeah, we have massive overhead. So Jesse, based on all this data, I see you and I walk up to you and I'm like, dude, you must be killing it, right?
Mhm.
Because they see this information and it looks great.
Mhm.
What does the public not see? They do not see the behavior of something that we're seeing, and the behavior of a very interesting species, which is what?
The buyers. And
Buyer
buyers
behavior.
that are coming in from other places that actually the market has shifted.
Correct. Oh, this is good.
So they come in with a whole different mindset than we have. In fact, they come in remembering that they just took a $100,000 hit on their home in California, and now they're bringing that mentality here.
Correct. Now, I want to define a hit. The hit right now is they thought they were going to get 900, they got 800.
Right.
It's not like they spent 900 and they're only getting, the market.
Right.
Hey, I can go to the data with Keeping Current Matters, which is the economic report that we run a lot of our, that we share everything with the world with, okay, right? They will show us that 99% of this country has equity in their home,
Mhm.
right? Really. I mean, most people have equity, home values are up, things are great. But Jesse makes a great point. You come in from California, the market has shifted in California. You thought you were going to get 900, you get 800, you come into town, and then we hear this one. Hey, I want to offer less. And we're like, well, look, this is a hot market. This is a property that's going to be sold in a week. Yeah, well, I just took a loss on my house in California, right?
I've heard that several times.
And can you see, Andy, how this is like we talk about looking through walls and looking around corners, how the public can't see this unless you're talking to actual buyers.
Right.
Okay, so a year ago, Jesse, the data looks the same. But 12 months ago, most of the listings we have right now that aren't moving, we would have put them on the market, what would have happened?
They've been sold like within 2 or 3 days.
2 or 3 days. The exact same listings, exact same neighborhoods, exact same price points, they're not selling.
Mhm.
They're not selling.
So what we're really having to do is really find I call it the sweet spot. Every home has a sweet spot where buyers will jump, or they'll come and give us offers. We're having to really be careful with finding that as quick as possible. Because buyers aren't stretching like they were last year. Last year you could put 10,000 over and you'd at least see an offer. May have been a low one, but we'd see it.
Yeah.
And this year we're not.
So this is what we're talking about. Is it's a little bit like I'll often talk with our sales team about like we draw concentric circles. So an outer ring and a more center ring and a closer ring and then a really center ring. And I was like, the outer ring is how much time you spend at work, hours. The next ring is how many people you talk to. The next ring is how many people you have an appointment with, and the inner ring is how many contracts you have. Right? It's meaning the outer ring is it's nice to go to work and spend time there. But Andy, couldn't we go to work and just do nothing all day, right?
Yeah, well, I could, but you could.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we showed them that that center ring is the area of focus, right? Well, when we talk about this data, we first of all, what the consumers see is they see headlines. That's the outer ring.
Yeah.
Then they see signs in neighborhoods. That's the next ring. Then they talk to their friends at church or the park. That's the next ring. Then you get into dealing with buyers and sellers every single day. That's the center ring. That's like where you get down and you cut through all that noise, and you find out that even though and look, I'm reading this report right now, Keeping Current Matters. It's all this, hey, the market's great, the market's strong, it's going to continue to be great, it's going to continue to be strong. Everybody should buy a house, everybody should sell a house, everybody should do everything that keeps the real estate market strong. That's what they want us to pitch. Utah, they're forecasting that home values in Utah will go up 4.6% this year. Well, Jeremy, what are you telling me? You make it sound like the market's crashing. We're not. But what we're seeing is we're seeing a distinct shift in the air that you are not going to sniff out for 6 months as a consumer. Right? Now, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, they talk about these people are like, who are they? Look, they're government entities and they got these cute names a long time ago. They talk about housing affordability. From 1990 until today. So what they do, Andy, is there's an index. And the index is, it's hard to even describe how the index works, but the straight numbers will make sense to people, right? So in 1990, the Housing Affordability Index, it's a score, and the score was a 108, okay? That was in 1990. The score went up to 133 in 1998, and then it fell back in 2006 to 108. What do we remember about 2006?
Crazy.
Yeah, it was unaffordable.
That was the boom before the crash.
Yep,
Yes.
Right before.
The affordability index went from 108 in 2006 to 197 in 2012. Affordability doubled.
Wow.
Everything became affordable for literally every buyer that could get a loan. I'm kidding. Let me back up. Every buyer couldn't afford every home, but meaning there was not really a person that had a gainful employment that couldn't afford a home in 2012. I'm
Yeah.
serious, guys. I got bad news for everybody right now who's
That's true.
listening who missed out on it. I'm sorry. You absolutely could have bought a home in 2012. I guarantee it. If you had
I did.
thank you. If you had clean credit and 90 days at your job, you qualified for something.
Yeah.
Okay. We've fallen from 197 to 152. Well, why? Because home values are up. How much? 50%?
It's a lot.
But at the same time, housing affordability is 50% better today than it was in 2006. And why? One specific
Interest
reason.
rates.
Interest rates are so low. So when we talk about the market and people are like, wow, this is so expensive, I can't afford anything in Utah. I realize a lot of people can't, yet you don't actually know. You're speaking out of turn because you don't actually realize how affordable it still is. Because you saw the price go up and it looked unaffordable, but realize it was 50% less. It was half as affordable,
Yeah.
right? 8 years ago, 7 years ago, I guess, technically, right?
I've got people in my own family that are still waiting for the market to change so that they can get a home, and I'm like, man, I think that's a bad idea.
Maybe
Because
you
the
make a
next
mistake.
shift will be interest rate driven, and you can't outsave interest rate.
No.
There's just no way to
And
do
you have
it.
no control over it. Well, yeah, so people are like, well, I'll just
I'll just wait.
I'll keep saving money, but realize you can't save enough money per month unless you're making it gobs of extra cash to beat an interest rate. Jesse, talk to us about, we produce a report every month. December 1st, Sunday, we released our latest report.
Yep.
We're going to tell you when the show wraps up where you can see this. So we talk about Washington County as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
Ivan City, Santa Clara City, St. George City, Washington City, and then Hurricane Valley.
Right.
Tell us about, for Washington County, what did you see here for the stuff that people really care about? Let's talk about average prices right now.
Average price is at $370,000. It just continues to creep up every month. 2 months ago in September, it was $366.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still going up slowly.
Yeah.
You know, and when we talk about the change in the buyers, how that comes about is sellers are just having to reduce their prices
Correct.
to get offers. So it's not that the market's crashing, it's that they're having to pay attention to the pricing detail a lot more.
Yeah, because about 18 months ago, we got sloppy. You just put any
You just
price
put
on it and
anything
people
on.
will do something. So we're not saying that the values went down. We're saying that sellers were asking too much.
Mhm.
And now, it's like they were speeding in a construction zone. Okay, you need to bring that back down 10 miles per hour because the speed limit was always 60 in this construction zone. You just thought you could go 70, right?
Right.
I hope that analogy helps people see this. You got to bring it back in line. So average sales price, what'd you say, 377?
370
2 minutes here we got left.
is the sold price.
$370,000. It's a lot, right? Yet we know based on real data that affordability is 50% better than it was in 2006.
Mhm.
It is still that much more affordable to own a home. Now, as I look at this report, we talk about months of inventory. How many months would it take to sell all the homes? What's that sweet spot, Jesse? Price range. Where, if you have a house, you can sell it in seconds.
200,000 to 300,000.
Mhm.
That is the
And
really
under
lowest.
2, but very few people have a home that's under 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even 3 to 4 is pretty dang good.
Mhm.
If you've got a home under 500,000 right now, I think that you're in a really good position if you want to sell.
But you have to look at the speed limit.
You do.
Okay, because the speed limit's 65, it's 55, it's 85, it's whatever it is.
Mhm.
You don't get to go 20 miles per hour over in this market and think that you're not going to get a ticket.
Right.
Wrap up. If you want to see this report, visit us at soldinstgeorge.com. Soldinstgeorge.com. Tell you where we're seeing some pain in the vacation rental market. We're seeing
Yes,
people
we
who
are.
paid. I've got a guy right now who bought a Coral Ridge unit 3 years ago. They
Mhm.
want to sell it. They're going to lose money.
Yep.
In an appreciating real estate market, they're going to lose money. Why? Oversupply. They built too many vacation rentals. Hey, in 10 seconds, someone's going to hear that and be like, whoa, you should pick up the phone and call us if you want to have a discussion. Soldinstgeorge.com. Contact us if you want to have that discussion. But whoo,
All right.
going to be some pain
Over now.
for some people who are not paying attention to the fact that 50 million hotel rooms got built over and out.
All right, thanks, guys. Great show today. Our music just quit on us, so we're going to play a commercial. We'll be back with